Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Inventor video. In this video we're going to be making a grill. That's a grill with an E and it's just a covering, pretty much like we're going to model the exact same one we have here. And yeah, pretty much the main kind of feature of it is that it starts and ends exactly like it just fits perfectly. If you look here, the end bars are perfectly trimmed around and it's all done using relatively simple features, just really optimized rather than modeling each bar. It just does it all in maybe 6 features and a few work points. And yeah, this is one attempt I had earlier, so we just click part and we can now then really start working on it. So we click start sketch and we're just going to start the actual frame bit, and let's say we go out, oh I know we're going to snap to there and go 250. Click OK, and we're going to make an arc from we're going to go from an arc from each end at 125 to make a perfect semicircle. Finish the sketch and we're going to start another sketch right here, and we're going to click circle and we're going to do 2 mil. From the 2 mil, click OK. We're going to finish the sketch, sweep along that profile and then select the frame as the path, click OK. And now then we're going to grab some work points. These just help make the whole middle thing a bit easier, and we can snap one there, and we'll snap the other one there, and we'll do the plane as well at the same time. We'll select that work point there, job done, and we move on to the other side. Points, so we're going to want where it snaps to there, and we want a drop point there, and drop grab plane. There we go, pretty simple. And then what we're then going to do is we're going to do power midpoint between 2 planes. Job done. And what this now then does is that it creates a midpoint where we can actually start spanning. You don't have to start from midpoint, but it just makes life much easier. And so what we can now then do is we can just go onto here, and we can really just look between. And if we want to, we can project the cut edges, and if we just set the cut edges to a construction line, that kind of gives you just a bit of area. And if you wanted to take the center point, you could really just hook onto that midline. Let's make this 1.5. And if we use the dimension tool, we could dimension between each second. We could say, oh, I don't know, let's make it 5 mil. Finish the sketch. And what we can really now do is we can just make these work planes, just disappear for a bit. And we'll make this one use the visibility in the context menu. Okay, and now what we can now then do is we now then use Extrude to next. And what it does is it just runs the extrude until it hits the next thing and be in the frame, which is why the frame's there. And you click OK. Job done. Pretty simple stuff. And we now then go to the rectangular pattern. Now this is where it gets really kind of freaking cool, because what we can now then do is if we use this, and because it's using to next, what we can do is we can update it. So every time it computes a beam, it will just completely adjust it. And so we'll select the x-axis. We can go based on distance. So this takes a max distance as a value, and we're going to say we want 11 units. And it goes like that. Now if you click this arrow and click adjust, it should then change them like that perfectly. And now you see you've got one side of the grill, and that is really freaking easy to do, because now if we just then go to mirror, we can just take these whole set here, and we can just click the mirror plane and just click OK, and you see there, job done. It's just done all of it. So now the next job is actually quite simple, but it's a little bit more complicated because it's got a little bit more fancy. But if we make this plane visible, now this is the kind of mid plane where everything starts. Now what if you notice, it perfectly splits this in half, which is important because what that means is that you hit the widest part of the frame, because you think about it, a circle will kind of get, as it gets wider, and then it will go smaller. And so now what we can now do is if we start a sketch on here, what we can do is we can do a couple of things. We can really project the geometry. So we're going to project this outermost edge. Job done. And if you really want to be picky about it, we can project these 2 little ones here. And we can finish that sketch, and we can really just make this whole thing disappear. Now, why do we do that? Well, this is so we can make the actual 2 constraint for the vertical ones, because the issue is there's nothing for it to get caught because they have to go. We're going to make it go on top, and so we're just going to change this to a surface. We're going to click the extrude, and we're going to change this to, and not to, we're going to say distance, and we're going to say, I don't know, let's say 25. Click OK. And so now what you see is we now kind of got a little bit of shroud. It makes life a little bit easier. Right. And so yeah, the next job we then need to really do is we can really start to draw the actual vertical parts. And so let's see, have we got any planes existing there? Why, yes we have. That's perfect. And so now what we can actually do is we can now make the YZ plane. Perfect, and we can start drawing on this plane. And so if we just, spin this around, what we've now then got is, we've got this part here. And what we can now do is we can now really just, if we make a drawing, so let's, on here we've got the sketch, and let's project this top line here. So that's really giving us a work line to start with. And let's just plop a circle, and let's just say the same 1.5 we're working with before. And then we're going to make it tangent to that line, click OK, and then what we can also do is if we then go to dimension, we can select the midpoint, select the end of the line, and let's then say we're just going to make it 5 like we did last time. Okay, and this is where we finish the sketch. And this is where we can actually turn off the YZ plane. And now we just extrude, and we use the 2 extent this time, and you see it then just goes straight to the plane. Click OK. And now then, if we then use the rectangular pattern, we can select that, the extrude we made, and the direction we will just say is, where are we? Let's take a top view part, and we're gonna go on the Z. And we're just going to flip it, and we're going to say the distance, let's say, I don't know, 245, and let's say we go with 24. And I actually want to go 240. That looks about right, and then we're going to remember, we're going to set it to adjust, and we're going to click OK. And what you can now see is that all these Grille are all now perfectly joined up. And what we can now then do is if we now then we can now hide the extrusion surface, and there you go, a Grille. And the only thing really left to do is let's just change this to like a stainless steel, and that is it. You can now just see perfect stainless steel Grille. There's nothing much more to add to it. So yeah, it's kind of just a basic introduction to using Extrude, and why we using the 2 and using adjust, especially in rectangular pattern, allows you to do this so much faster. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.